Okay, we'll call the Committee of the Whole meeting for February 22nd to order at 12:30 p.m. Ask for a motion from Councillor Masterman that the Committee of the Whole adopt the agenda for the Committee of the Whole February 22nd as presented.
Be happy to make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
All in favor? Carried. Ask for a motion from Councillor McMillan that the Committee of the Whole adopt the minutes from the February 8th Committee of the Whole meeting as presented.
Craig, I have a question.
One? Yep.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you want the motion first?
Carol gave it to me. We're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just had a question about under 4.1, the third bullet point. I guess I know it's just minutes and this thing is still in the infancy and all that, but I just thought it says it's not anticipated there'd be support from council and the public regarding the renaming of George Lane Memorial Park and Campground. That actually wasn't in the report. It was the possible renaming of just the campground. It was never, or I never saw it in the report that it was. And there were questions raised around the renaming of the whole park when we discussed that. And that wasn't my understanding, that it was just the possible renaming of the campground to Riverview or something like that. But I just think it's a little misleading maybe. And it says, and if it was being considered, it should not include lions. Should that say, and it should include lions?
Oh, I can actually speak to that. So it was actually a comment that Councillor Cooey had made about the lions piece, and that she wasn't going to be supportive as a councillor if the renaming. So we'd gone through and it's meant to capture all of kind of the comments that were made.
Yeah.
If we've miscaptured something, by all means, let us know. But we're not trying to misrepresent anything. So if it needs to read elsewhere, just let us know.
Okay. Yeah. No. I just thought I'd point that out, that it was I knew Councillor Cooey had raised that concern, but she also talked about the whole park being renamed, and that wasn't in the report. It was just the campground that was being talked about. So I just thought it was maybe a little. And I know you weren't trying to mislead anything, Kara, at all. You never do. So I just thought I'd mention that that it's maybe not all of council that is opposed to the possible renaming of the campground only, but I just thought I'd mention that. Thanks.
Just clarification that it wasn't in the report and that it was just a conversation from council. Is that what we're looking for, Bruce?
No, I'm sorry, Craig. It was in the report that possibly the campground itself be renamed Riverview, right. I believe it was, but it wasn't the entire park. And the discussion was around that nobody would ever go for the park being renamed, and that wasn't in the report. That I'm just afraid that it.
Okay. Kathy?
Thanks, Bruce. I'd actually wanted to bring that up just for clarification, because I think it was my opinion, my mistake, my misunderstanding, first of all, that it was indicating the entire park. And it certainly, I don't think we had any consensus either way from council about renaming the campground. So for clarification on that, and just for clarification, again, my opinion on lions, and that is just because they are potentially just temporary characters of the park. And again, up for broader conversation, not just my opinion.
Some minor adjustments there, Kara. Good. Good. Motion on the floor to adopt those minutes. All in favor? Carried. And it's over to you, Bree Lynn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good afternoon, members of council. This item is before you today because Section 11 of the Terms of Reference for the Intermunicipal Committee requires that the terms of reference are reviewed after membership of the committee changes. Last fall, county membership changed, and therefore the terms were reviewed by the county. The county proposed some amendments to the terms of reference at the December 3rd, 2020 meeting of the Intermunicipal Committee. At the December 3rd meeting, the committee directed administration of both municipalities to undertake a detailed review of the terms and bring back suggested amendments for the committee's discussion at the March 4th, 2021 IMC meeting. Town staff have completed the review and require council feedback to determine if the proposed amendments are supported for discussion at the March 4th IMC meeting. Unless there are any questions from council at this time, I would like to walk through the 5 strategic questions in the report. So the first question, there's actually
Hang on,
3 parts.
just 2 seconds, Breland. Councillor Moore has his hand up.
Okay.
Jeez. I apologize for that. My buttons don't seem to work. I have to have a bigger fist on them. I just wanted to raise a question on the bat about the this seems to be a dysfunctional council that is putting extra work on other organizations. It's just because they're upset with their infighting amongst the group now. And so it just seems to me that this is a kind of a futile effort to make adjustments to this at this time, because there's probably only 3 meetings left before the municipal elections in the fall. And at that time, they are required to make or to approve the terms of reference and make adjustments, because there probably will be new people on it. It seems like with three meetings to go, and then they are going to change it in the fall. It seems to be kind of a waste of time at this point, but if we can do it without, we've already spent staff time on it, and it's just, it's really for no reason other than the kind of the infighting of the county council. So I just wanted to register that at the beginning, that it's kind of a wasted effort, and just don't realize what good it's going to do if it's going to be automatically revised again. We have 1 meeting next week, 1 in June, and then probably 1 in September, and then it's all over. What I would like to see put into the terms of reference is that concerns on the CMRB matters not be brought up at intermunicipal councils, just for garnering support and stuff. They should be going to the CMRB and raising any issues with all of the 9 other people that are on that board, and not putting it through IMC now to filter it through. So just a couple of points before we continue any further.
Councillor Masterman.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm not I'm not missing something here, but it does say in the report that that an extension has been or will be applied for till June 1st. Because of course, March 1st is the initial deadline, which is next Monday, and but that an extension would be applied for June 1st, but it looks like it hasn't been applied for yet. And I guess and it does say this will be kind of our last look at it. And I'm just wondering if the extension is in fact made, and other changes are made to the plan in that 3 months, whether we would get a look at it, or definitely our reps from council would have a look at it, and that's fine with me. I was just wondering if it is extended to June, whether we would, as a council, get another look at it.
Absolutely. Everybody, we are all going to vote we're all going to vote on what our vote is going to be at the CMRB board. And I'm going with whatever vote council gives me is the vote that I'm taking to CMRB. So the extension has been asked for to Minister McIver, but I don't think we have an answer yet. But they're booking meetings in through March, so I'm guessing somebody knows something. So, Breland, I'll let you continue on through your points, and then we'll kind of decide, because Dawn brings up an excellent part of this whole thing as to how this all started. But I'll let you finish up, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll go over the 3 parts to the first question, which asks, does the committee of the whole support removing the mayor and Reeve as ex officio members, thereby reducing the number of available council members for the committee from 4 to 3, and the change to appointing co-chairs and alternate chairs is the strategy there. I guess I should say that what's really being proposed kind of brings the current function of IMC into the terms of reference, because quite often, even though the terms request that each council appoint a chair, the mayor and Reeve do attend and assume those duties. So in staff's perspective, the proposed amendments just allow mayor and Reeve to be appointed as one of the 3 members, and they can also be appointed as co-chairs, which is exactly, like I said, what happens right now.
Right. Dawn. I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. Sure. Like, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Craig, but I was a little concerned with 4 members of council. I think there's some talk about decision-making and quorum with 4 members of council. That I would pose back to Kara. Is that an issue, Kara, or are we okay?
We're talking about actually reducing it to 3, so it won't be an issue. That's exactly.
I mean, as it stands now, is that an issue?
I think what municipal affairs would say is that if you have the majority of council together and they're making decisions, then you are having a meeting of council. That has been the position that municipal affairs has given us previously. So I wouldn't say that's necessarily a direct issue, because IMC is only making recommendations and returning it back to each respective council. So it shouldn't be an issue. But that being said, I get where Foothills County is coming from and the optics around it.
Thank you.
And again, I don't think moving it to 3 is a big deal, because there's always one of us that doesn't want to go. Councillor Masterman.
Yeah, Mayor Sawgrass, I just wanted to,
one of us.
I just kind of wanted to with rather a red face, I just wanted to apologize. My earlier reference was to the discussion we're going to have about CMRB in council. I have to learn how to read my own notes, and I kind of jumped forward on that. So as many people probably were aware, but I wasn't until just right now. So I apologize for my my earlier comments that were not related to this agenda item. So, and yeah, and I'm good with the change.
I think Bree Lynn did say CMRB, so you're well within your rights, just to give her. Okay, Bree Lynn, we're good with the mayor and Reeve, and we're good to go into 3. So,
Okay, thank you. Question 2, does the Committee of the Whole support the proposed reduction in regular meetings from 4 to 2 per year?
yeah, 2 is probably too many. 2 is good by me. And then we just, if it's something important, we can always call for a meeting. These are the best Band-Aids ever, by the way. Next question.
All right. Does the Committee of the Whole support the proposed name change from intermunicipal committee to intermunicipal partnership?
Why don't we throw collaborative partnership in there?
We can do that.
Just kidding.
And I can give a little bit of background information
Chris.
to that if you like.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then we'll go to
so the proposed change really stems from there's an interpretation in the MGA that states committees need to be established by bylaw, and that's never happened with the intermunicipal committee. There's no bylaw for them, and we also felt that maybe partnership is a better representation of the nature, the advisory role of the committee, because it doesn't really make any decisions. It just provides recommendations back to the council. So there's some very subtle, I guess, underlying drivers for that change. And we're looking for feedback on what council thinks on that.
Okay. Councillor Moore.
Yes, I was a little bit confused about, I thought intermunicipal actually equal partnership, like term intermunicipal itself. But, and I really, as with a lot of things, cannot see the rationale for changing it from a committee to a partnership, even though you gave some justifications there, Breland. And I just, but it's like so many other things, they don't seem to have any rationale for their changes. And is that going to make it any different than it is now to call it a partnership? But like all of the other things, who cares at this point in time?
Kara, this is right up your alley. What do you, partnership committee, MGA, go.
So my only thoughts are, if we're going to continue calling it a committee, I think we probably should get it squared away and have at least some sort of matching bylaw with Foothills County, at least on the books, so that we check all the boxes. They're not supportive of having a bylaw, so that's just one thing to know kind of going into this, is we did try and have that conversation initially, and they were not supportive of kind of proceeding in that fashion.
Okay. Kathy.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. I like the idea of using the word partnership. As it's been pointed out, there are changes coming to both of the council membership coming up, and I just think it sets a different tone for future people that will be sitting at that table.
I'm okay with the partnership too. Like Don says, it's just, it's wordsmithing stuff that's not going to change anything, but if that makes them feel better and they can get along better or it works better for them, I don't think we care what name we put on it. So let her rip. Okay. Next. Sorry, Carol.
Oh, thank you. Just a couple questions. Is this being driven by the county, this particular change, or is this being driven by High River?
these are all driven by the county, correct, Breland? No?
No, the bulk of the changes, except for the co-chair and alternate co-chairs, have been proposed by town staff.
Okay.
So the change into partnership is something that came out of town staff's review.
Okay, so we're asking for that.
Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I was
it's just
wondering,
sorry.
Okay, thanks, Carol.
because my only thing is, speaking to what Councillor Moore said, intermunicipal should in itself mean partnership, but also it will change the acronym to IMP.
Perfect. Way better. I
So
love that these are recorded.
But I do understand, like, I don't think we need to go through the bylaw process of it. I just wanted to kind of
Yeah.
point that out.
Yeah, I don't, okay, so if this is one of our changes, I don't want to make more work or paperwork just for, I'm going to suggest just to leave it alone. We just let her ride as it has, no bylaw needed. Cross. I know you're all giddy to do one, but I think let's leave that one alone. Hey? Okay.
Okay,
Sorry,
thank you for that.
I thought that was a county request and throw them alone, but okay, leave that one alone. One more, is that right?
We
Or two
have
more?
two more to go.
Okay.
I was wondering if there are any comments or suggestions regarding the word changes intended to clarify the advisory non-decision making nature of the IMC. And I can direct you to those sections if you like, or I'm ready for your comments.
Any questions or comments on it? Carol?
Thank you. Breland, would you mind pointing out which sections, just so I have some context, please?
Definitely. Section 3, objectives, and Section 5, constraints. And then there's also some reiteration of those sections in 8.1, roles and responsibilities.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty clear, isn't it, that no official legislative status or decision-making authority, but can provide recommendations to the municipal councils. That's on item 5, but if that's the way though. The objectives, I think the constraints are the important one. The objectives are subjective to the issue. Establish a working relationship for the purpose of developing and understanding each other's strategic priority. Okay. Wordsmith that one 1,000 different ways, but I think it's great the way it is. No other comments? Good to go.
Good to go to the next question, Mr.
Yes,
Mayor?
please.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry. So the last question is if the committee of the whole feels the timelines proposed in the terms are sufficient to ensure IMC will be prepared to have discussions. Right now, the terms state that support staff will request agenda items 2 weeks in advance of a meeting and issue an agenda 4 days before a meeting. The proposed changes will require that agenda items are submitted to the CAOs 1 month before a meeting, and that all agenda items must have a staff report that's approved by the respective CAO 2 weeks before a meeting, with the agenda distributed 1 week before a meeting. Some big changes there.
I'm good with it. Is that one of our changes?
Yes.
Of course. Only the mayor and Reeve one is theirs, right? Yeah, some of the reports that we get are a couple of 100 pages long. So And because they're not, because we only have 2 a year, we're probably good. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Like it. Any other questions for Bree Lynn? That's all of yours, right?
Yes.
Bree? Okay. That'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Bree Lynn. Open question and answer for Chris or Councillor Moore.
Thank you. I just have a question on what the status of our wayfinding signs. I know we were going to lose the grant if we don't do it this year, and it was geared up to go in the spring. And I wondered if that is still on.
Thank you for that question, Councillor Moore. We're still waiting on written confirmation coming back from the province whether they're going to extend the grant past December 31st, 2020. They verbally said that they would be prepared to do that, but we have not received any new agreement from the province as it relates to our wayfinding signage. And so we've been hounding them. Their last response was that they wanted a letter from us regarding red tape reduction processes. So we are in the process of drafting that to send that on to them to see if that will be the final checkbox for them to release the new agreement. And we have asked for that agreement to go to end of 2022.
It seems to me that they've created more red tape by asking you to do a red tape reduction. But I'm particularly interested because I've got a standing bet on with Wade Nelson. He's always skeptical that the town will complete any project. And so I said, because of prior information, that yes, we will have that going in spring. So he put $10 on the table and said, it's not going to happen. So I'm out $10 if we don't get that grant.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Tell Wade it's his government that wants the red tape.
Yeah.
Jesus. Red tape report to tell them we reduced red tape.
Yeah.
It's an excuse for deregulation is what it actually is. So, Councillor Kinghorn. Sorry, you're done, Don?
Yeah, thank you.
Amy.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. Through to Chris. Any words on the medicine tree at all? Has there been any progress on that? I know I'm going to get beat up on it fairly soon here, so.
Nothing to date, Jamie.
Is there any way we can get that out of Garrett's farm yard?
We can certainly go out there and get it if we get permission to get it from him. We can find a location.
I don't know where we would put it, but I'm just uncomfortable it's sitting out there at Garrett's.
We've got a container or two that we can probably put it into.
Okay.
So if we can get that permission, then we can send somebody out there to pick a couple guys out there to pick it up.
So you're going to task somebody to do that then?
Yeah, I don't know this individual, so if somebody could send me that contact information through, that'd be great.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris.
Carol?
Just back to the wayfinding question. So Chris, the extension, like I thought we still had the $400,000. Like, what is this that, are you asking for an extension for the time that it has to be spent? Is that what the?
That's correct. We have the money in hand, but we don't, our agreement expired at the end of 2020. And so we don't have the authority to actually spend that on wayfinding. Technically, we're supposed to return that back. So we submitted our requests back in the fall to the province and had conversations because we knew with Clifton's passing and when we started getting into the detail of wayfinding, we had a lot of gaps in the information. no engineered design, and a lot of internal risks that would see costs potentially increase substantially if we didn't get some more information behind it when we tampered it. So we've been working since September with the province to try and get an extension, and they've been dragging their feet on this.
Okay, thanks.
No further questions. So all good. See you at 3 o'clock. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, I better adjourn the meeting. Hey, Kara? Meeting adjourned, 1 o'clock. See you later.
Have a great rest of your